everybody, welcome back to Music with Meg's Violin School. Now, I've had a few questions and comments about people's violins not making any sound. So I thought I'd make this troubleshooting video just to go through some of the most common reasons why your violin isn't making a sound. Everybody follow me, it's Music with Meg. Now let's begin with the violin setup. If you've got your violin brand new, especially if you've ordered it online, the first thing that you need to check is that your violin has a bridge. The bridge is this wooden part here and it holds the strings up. If your violin doesn't have a bridge, you will not be able to make a sound. The bridge is really important because it keeps the strings tense, holds them nice and tight. If the strings aren't tight, they won't make a sound. So that's the number one thing. If you don't have a bridge on your violin, you won't be able to make a sound. Your violin should have come with a bridge, so see if you can find it and get it fitted. If not, then you might have to go out and buy yourself a bridge. The bridges are fairly easy to fit yourself, but there are lots of tutorials online that can help you do it as well. Great, next thing, if your strings aren't tightened, if they're too loose, they also won't make a sound. So you need to tune your strings before you start. Like I said, we need that tension to be there, otherwise we're not going to make a sound. So, if you need help tuning your violin, you can go back to one of my earlier videos. I'll pop the link up here, or you can follow the link in the description, and that will show you how to use your pegs to tighten your strings, and then you should be able to make a sound. Right, next thing, if you just got your brand new violin, maybe you've ordered it online, you'll have your bow, but your bow might be the problem. It's easy to tell whether the bow's the problem, because if you play the strings with your fingers and they make a sound, and then you play them with your bow and you're getting nothing, then the problem is with your bow, not your violin. Most of the time, if your bow isn't making a sound, it's because it's got no rosin on it. We need rosin to help the hairs of the bow stick to the strings of the violin. Hopefully your violin came with some rosin. It's usually a lot more attractive than mine. Mine looks a bit like an old rock that I found somewhere, but it will do the trick. All you need to do, watch your fingers because it's very sticky, is slide the rosin up and down your bow. If your bow is new and it's got no rosin on it, you might need to do quite a lot, so keep going. A good way to tell if your bow's got enough rosin on is if you've got some black clothing or some dark clothing, you can tap your bow on your clothes and it will leave a mark, and you can just rub that off. Hopefully, rosin on your bow has done the trick and you should make a sound. If those simple tricks are still not working, you might need to take your violin into a violin shop, because it could be that there's a problem with one of the sound pegs in your violin, and that's why it's not making a sound. Now, another comment that I've had is that your violin will make a sound when you're playing the open strings, but when you put your fingers down, it doesn't make a sound. So this is nothing to do with our violin setup, and it's more to do with what we're doing with our left hand. So, if your violin isn't making a sound when you put your fingers on, make sure that you're pressing nice and hard with that finger. If we don't press hard, it's not going to make a sound. We need to make sure we're putting lots of pressure down. So, if your violin is making a sound with the open strings, but not when you put your finger down, it will be because you're not pressing hard enough with your fingers, or your fingers are covering more than one string, or you're not pressing with the right part of your fingers. All of those things will lead us to have a bad sound. So remember, when you're putting your fingers down, we want to be using the very, very tip of the finger. So if you were to take away the neck of the violin, it would be like a telescope. We're making a circle with our fingers and the string, like a tunnel, like this. So, not a flat finger, but a curved one, using the tip of the finger and covering just one string. Hopefully that will sort out your problem. Again, if you've tried absolutely everything with your fingers on the strings and your violin isn't making a sound, then you will need to take it back to the violin shop because there might be something else wrong with it. Always remember when you're packing away your violin to wipe down the strings to clear off any rosin, to loosen the hairs on your bow by twisting that knob at the bottom. Finally, remember to take care of your violin. They are pretty tough, but they're not indestructible. There are some parts like the bridge and the strings that can be very fragile, so make sure that you're really taking care of it and it will take care of you. If you look after your violin properly, it can last you a lifetime. Hopefully that helps answer some of your questions about making a sound on your violin. As always, if you have any other questions or comments, then you can leave them for me in the comments section below. Have a lovely week, everybody. Happy practicing, and I'll see you next time. Bye!